Recording in progress.
All right. Is everybody ready already?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's hit it. Hello, and welcome to our humble little podcast. This is Atlantis After Dark, the greatest place in all of cyberspace. Let me tell you guys, my next door neighbor with massive boobs keeps walking around the backyard topless. I just wish his wife would do the same. I'll tell you what, I'm ready to go already. I think you guys are ready to go too, so let's not waste all any more time. Let's get right into it and meet today's All-Stars. Warming up in the bullpen. After making love to his wife last night, she told him he had a body built for sin. 12 hours later, he still can't figure out if she meant sluttony or gloth. Gloth or sluttony. I fucked that all up today, didn't I? God damn my mouth. It's Biff by Adam West. What's the word, dude? Oh.
Did you say sluttony or gluttony?
Sluttony or gloth. What a fucking genius I am.
I've never been accused of being a slut, but I have been accused of being a glutton.
Sluttony's actually a portmanteau from that was my porn name.
Sluttony. Oh. Well, welcome to the show, pal. We're glad to have you, even though I fucked you up.
Oh, well, glad to be here.
All right. Next up, he's the Sorcerer Supreme of cyberspace. The other night, he overheard 3 large women talking, and he couldn't quite pick up their accent. He went over to him and asked, "I'm sorry, are you 3 ladies from Scotland?" One of them shot back angrily, "It's Wales! Wales, you bloody idiot!" So he apologized and said, "I'm so sorry. Are you 3 whales from Scotland?" It's Retpmus. What's happening, Big Kahuna?
Oh, that was pretty good. That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
The old Wales joke.
Yeah. Good.
All right. Glad to have you on the show today. Joining us today on the show, the first time she ever had sex, it was in her parents' bedroom. Her boyfriend giggled nervously and said, "This is a bit awkward." She said, "Yeah, just ignore them." It's the lovely and talented DCL Junk. How are you today, Miss Junk?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Everybody knows this last All-Star. When he was younger, he walked in on his parents having sex. I said, "That must have been terrible." He said, "Yeah, worst 45 minutes of my life." It's Tewty. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Hello. Yeah, I don't want to walk in on that.
No. Nobody wants to walk in on that. 45 minutes.
On that.
I think I did once when I was a kid, and I didn't know what was going on, and I got just lightly zhuzhed out of the room. Just lightly.
You were nudged. Oh, no. Well, I think my experience wasn't quite like that. I snuck downstairs to try and get a snack over in the middle of the night, and I saw Mom and Dad on the couch, and that was the last thing I wanted to see in my life. So, not fun.
Yeah, I feel that.
That's on them. On the couch, that's on them.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's on them. It was on my eyes, though. Jesus. All
Gross.
right.
Why'd you get so close?
I wanted to make sure.
Yeah. They were stuck together for a while.
They were. It was disgusting. All right. Now that I need a barf bag.
We gave the entire community a vision of their parents doing it.
All right.
His eyes were glazed over.
Yuck. All right. I don't know how to recover from that, so let's just get into some fucking DCL. Oh, that's gross. By the way, I don't know if you guys are Patreons, but if you go over to the WROL website, they have a Patreon only episode of WROL, and hate mail goes on for about 12 or 13 minutes, and he goes on a pretty good tirade. So if you really want to hear what he has to say lately, what his thoughts are, get over there, get onto the Patreons only page, donate $1 to their little cause. That's all you do. I pay $1 every month.
Is it
and
WWOL? Is that what they call it now?
WROL, WWOL, WOWL, I think. WOWL, yeah.
Yeah, you just have to say "wowel." It's like
Wow.
"vowel," but with a W.
Gotcha.
Right.
Wow. W
Right.
owl. Gotcha.
Wow.
Wow.
Thank God we never rebranded.
right?
That would be a
They've
lot of effort.
rebranded so many times.
There's no rebrands here. No, but if you have a chance to check that out, please check it out. It's probably the best 12 or 13 minutes of hate mail I've ever heard. So high praise from me.
Wow.
Go listen
That is
to
high
it.
praise.
It is high praise. It is high praise. So hopefully he makes that public soon so that you can enjoy that with me. But if you can't wait that long, get over there, Patreon. All good things must come to an end. Anyways.
Actually, the best 12 minutes is how AB described his mom and dad having sex.
Mm-hmm. Barf. Jesus.
Barf, he says.
Barf. Yeah, that's God, what a sick and awkward thing to say. All right. Let's talk a little bit. Let's segue from that. Let's talk a little bit into Dawnstar. That character has been available now for a little bit. Where do you guys have her right now? Dawnstar is sitting where for you guys? Is she pretty good? Is she not very good? Is she worth it? Is she not worth it? Where do you guys have her?
Well, she's broken.
She's broken. Okay, she's broken. All right.
Yeah.
What?
The hell you say?
No, not in this game.
Jesus.
Heaven forfends.
I'm-
A new character that doesn't work. All right.
but they
Okay,
test- but
so
they
maybe
test
we skip the Dawnstar discussion and go right into the meat and potatoes. What the hell is wrong with DCL today?
Oh my god.
I really think they've got some new employees,
Uh-huh.
and when they went in to start programming, they just took on their own initiative, or they're trying to shift the game in a different direction to make well, just think about it. If you come out, if your game's a little starting to get a little stale, where everybody's using the same characters all the time and
Yeah.
none of the other characters are picking up, they're not going to make any profit at all, off all those old characters. That's what the whole idea about the reworks and stuff come out. So, it can turn a profit, like, oh, let's reinvest in these characters that we never played, or new people coming up, like, oh, well, there's a good reason to get this character now. Another way to do that is to introduce characters that are so way out of the league of everybody else that everybody wants those characters, of course. Then brings up, even new reworks, new rebounces for these other characters to match these characters or to still compete with those. So it's a constant kind of steady stream of income for them, if you would think of it like on a financial way, because that way it's like always, let's reuse what we have to turn a profit. If you see this in the industry everywhere. I mean, how many Nintendo games have you seen brought out on every single system, the same exact game over and over and over? It's the same thing for like everything. Use what you already have, change it a little bit to make it relevant now, make some money, and not have to do a lot in the process. But I could all be wrong. It's just the way I'm looking at it as one standpoint.
Yeah, I'm usually the last one to get on the, things are awful, sky is falling thing, but the game is just not great right now.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of reasons for it. I don't even blame a specific character. I think it's a lot of things that have created these comps that really have one counter. I believe the beginning of this wasn't Cheshire. I don't think it was Trigon. I think it was really Atrocitus, because what he has created is a situation where we don't know what the speed implication is going to be. It used to be in the old Black Flash Martian Manhunter days, at least you knew how to go first in Siege or things like that. But it's led to a lot of combinations that are very unpredictable, other than the fact that it's going to be a fucking pain in the ass to deal with. And then you have those one or two comps that deal with it, but those might not be characters you enjoy playing with. It might not, like for example, I've never used Enchantress in my life. Now she holds one of my 6 team slots because there's a team that I need her. Hopefully she gives her damage immunity. And then there's another new slot I have to put, and hopefully Cheshire doesn't decide to attack Darkside. And it's one or two comps, and it's a just cross your fingers on the first move. To work. And I don't think anyone wants to sit here and say, hey, I'm going to use 2 comps, or I'm going to use 3 comps against an entire board. And that's what I'm using. I haven't been able to. Yeah, I tried to use one of my comps the other day, one of my Batgirl comps, against a 23,000 power team, because I thought I could potentially get away with it, and I lost. And so now and that's a 43,000 power team, with can't miss, with everything to counter that, but it just still got out of control. And I think what they have done in this, and for the newer players and everything, congratulations. They've allowed you to punch up. They've allowed you to have more plus 20s. They've pushed the veteran players further away from Wrath. Not that we were that close anyway, but now it's, hey, listen, not only is every match a plus 6, I could lose to a 25,000 employee on offense, a 25,000, power team. So it's just, for the veteran players, there's just no reason to play Wrath anymore. There's frustrations in Siege. There's so many things. I mean,
cheaters, so many cheaters.
Oh yeah. I mean,
but and also it's just like they made it so it's almost impossible to earn PvP points and for the Alliance. Now if they have someone who's not one of the reworked or new character, like using Medfill that one time, I mean, come on. Did anyone get more than 30 points in PvP without spending money? It's almost impossible. They make it so if there's a tune you really want to play, like if you really want to use Captain Boomerang, like good luck.
Make sure Supergirl doesn't get a turn.
Yeah, exactly.
Because any red.
I mean, I would almost rather face bot teams, because then at least you could try out different things and just have fun. But instead, it's just doing the same like 4 or 5 teams every single time. Even 4 or 5.
I had 2 straight bot boards the other day. It was so much fun. I was just screwing around and just using teams I like.
Yeah,
but that's what you're hoping for. I need Super Grill and Chill. I need him to show up more often so I can actually use characters I want to use.
So you don't think this is a concerted effort from the developers to make the game harder? You think this is?
I don't think the game is harder. I think the game is still. I think everything is still counterable. I just think it's just now it's just
monotonous.
It's right.
It's the same thing, and you don't have a choice. And maybe Tewty, you could correct it. Like, there are some really, really smart and creative minds in this community that have come up with a lot of fantastic ideas and comps and synergies and things like that. And from what my understanding, even those great players are still sitting there going, yeah, it's kind of one counter.
That kind of brings up, the other day I was watching multiple TOL tournaments going on, right? And just to see how quickly their teams were annihilated because of Cheshire and Trigon, because they're only allowed to use certain characters, to clear their boards. And especially there was a few matches where I was seeing where Du Bois was completely slaughtered. I mean, so bad because of Cheshire and the Trigon team up. It was just like, and it wasn't fun. You could just see his frustration, and I'm right there with him, because you have to take specific characters to get anywhere. And it's like saying, like, okay, for dinner, you're only allowed to have this and only this every single day, until we decide you can have something different. It's kind of like how you're being forced to do something over and over and over.
It's like, it's almost like you have to watch your parents have sex in one position.
Yeah, exactly.
For hours on, like, that's it every day for months. And then, then finally, like, all right, let's change it up a little bit.
Yeah, you got it.
Brilliant.
It's I don't know. It is making it very, let's just say, not fun.
Yeah. So I have and I'll just end this on this, because I'm generally not the one that's negative and like the game is what it is at this point. But I play this game for roster building, and that's pretty much it. So sometimes when these blips come with the meta and everything, I don't really care all that much. But I'm actually getting to a point where I don't have much left to do from a roster building perspective. So I'm getting to the point where if this is the way the game is, when I've completed everything, when I have everyone, you know, when the only thing I have left is to L5 40 characters and everything else is done, do I want to sit around to farm legendary essence and just look at Atrocitus team after Atrocitus team?
Yeah, how much time do you really want to spend time building Joker damaged goods just because, you know? I mean, are you ever going to use them, you know?
Well, he's one of my 5 that's still level 70.
Yeah,
So
what's the point? What's the point?
I have 5 left. Well, no, because I just want to get to the end. I want to finish up everybody. But if this is the way the meta is, when I finish everybody, and all I have left is 40 characters that aren't L5 or above, like I have to think. I think the only thing that would keep me playing this game is my alliance.
Yep, I do think a massive rebalance is necessary for the continued health of the game. And the problem, and you could see it all over Reddit, there's always going to be like the never nerf, never people, which I still don't understand. But on Reddit, there's just a shit ton of outrage. And you haven't seen this much outrage, I don't think ever. Like even back in the Deathstroke Lobo days, you know, when Spectre got reworked, when even when I was campaigning against Azrael, like you didn't see this much agreement on the fact that the game is in a very bad place at the moment. There are polls out there. There are people talking massive shit about just bugs and cheaters and just how massively overpowered these characters have been. When Reeves pokes her head back in, I think she's going to get lit up. And I wonder if the game will take any cues from that. Because, I mean, they took some feedback a while back when Wonder Girl needed nerfed at the time, when Deathstroke and Lobo got nerfed at the time. They've taken the feedback before. I think we just need to push and push and push. Even when Mongol's taunt got removed, like feedback has been taken. Things have been minutely changed in the past. So I'm hopeful that we can get some, you know, much needed changes. But I have no idea if anything will actually happen. We'll see what happens.
I hope the one thing is, I hope they don't go overboard, because I do think the outrage was very similar in the Deathstroke Lobo days. Like that was pretty bad. And that was pretty vocal and pretty, I think this is very similar to that. If I were to say if there's one thing I remember that is like today, it would be Deathstroke Lobo. But don't do what you did to Deathstroke if they do fix this.
Right.
Like,
I agree with that.
They made him completely irrelevant.
Well, first, I think the first thing they did was change Lobo, and they changed the PvP rules so that, you know, remember, like with that, like, so they tried to do something like a half measure 6 months in, and at least it was like they tried, you know, they listened, they tried, and it got maybe slightly better, but yeah, then they decided to cut off his ball. Then they decided to neuter Deathstroke.
And Tewty, I think if there is a group out there that's still the never nerf, anti-nerf, all that stuff, that it's got to be really someone that just, I don't think it's someone that invested in the character. Like it,
no,
like,
it's just someone being
like
an
it's
asshole.
been in the past. I think it's more just somebody that's loving the fact they can punch up.
Exactly. I think it's someone who's loving the fact that they can just be an asshole and troll online. It's like being on Twitter for an hour. You know, it's just the same people who just all they do is go around trolling people. I think that's all it is.
I saw a video. I forget who it was, but it was like they had just Cheshire, and she was only like, I'm thinking not even fully level 70, maybe like level 67 or something like that. And not even fully ringed, but they were able to beat a 40K Atrocitus team just using her. And when you have one character against a team of 4 characters, and she's able to defeat them all, even though there was, affinity advantage on the other side, like of Supergirl and stuff like that. When you can't touch that character, even though they're so weak, and like you were saying, she punches up way too high, way too high.
And
They
listen,
either need to fall off at a certain point, kind of like how Cassie's falls off, and you're able to get to her.
actually, I think there is a ton of synergy between Cassie and Cheshire.
Oh
that
yeah.
People are not realizing that people were complaining about Cassie when she came out. I think it's very similar. Cassie, in a lot of ways, is more difficult because she has a strong AoE. She bleeds instead of disease, so we know bleeds
buff
aren't
immunity.
as impactful
Yeah.
as disease these days. But she's also invisible. Like Cassie, the outrage for Cassie is very similar to the outrage for Cheshire. I do it because she was soloing teams when she came out.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cheshire is overpowered. And by the way, this is someone that was bored as hell because none of the sales I want to take people to RB5 have come in the last 8 months. So I had over 1 million gems, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to RB4 Cheshire because she's an evasion character. And I've just been sitting on all these gems. I'm just going to do it. I didn't spend $1 of real money. I just did it. I'm fine with her being nerfed. I'm not going to scream, oh, look what I invested, blah, 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 blah. Like the game needs a better place. And if you think someone shouldn't be nerfed or something shouldn't be done about making the game a better place, then you leave.
Oh man. I think that they made an attempt this month to kind of counter it. Like they knew that they created a problem. And I think that they made an attempt to handle it via the characters this month, like with Cyborg Superman and Dawnstar a little bit, because Dawnstar is just slightly faster than Cheshire in that first turn, and she also applies, she is supposed to apply True Sight, and she applies a buttload of evasion downs on characters. So it's supposed to offer you a window in order to kill Cheshire early, but Cheshire's still protected by awarenesses. She's also surrounded by people who can distract for her or throw more protection on her, or she is put on a team with people that you have to kill in a specific order, otherwise you're still fucked. Like there's just so many problems with it that we need a massive rebalancing, and it can't come fast enough. I think hopefully Reeves is MIA because they're so concerned about all of this and they're trying to find out a solution. And they're like, okay, well, I don't want to poke my head out until I can say, here's an issue and we're looking to solve it, and this is what we plan on doing,
But
So
you
Yeah,
know what's kind of crazy, Tewty? Think about this. If we go back like right before Trigon, all of us were praising how well balanced the game was.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
We all were. We're like, oh, it's in such a great state now. We're able to use pretty much any team we want. I mean, it was fantastic. And then it was like Atrocitus, Trigon, Cheshire, and then it was all out the window.
Yeah.
And Cyborg, but and so, like the last like few months, it's almost like they just like that there are 4 characters that just rule the game, and they're on every single team, and then you have to use this. It's crazy.
It's just the lack of the comps to counter them is just, it's too small. It's just too small.
I don't want more characters to counter. Like I don't want to spend the next year of new characters being people that counter the 4 people that are so difficult to fight. I just want the 4 people that are so difficult to fight be brought down to a balanced state, so that way we can use who we want to use in a degree.
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly.
Yeah, I mean, just the passives on Trigon. Cheshire starting off automatically slapping 5 disease on a character and ignoring any damage immunity right off the bat. I mean, that's just
not ignoring damage immunity.
Like just look at
debuff immunity. Sorry, debuff immunity.
Look at how long we spent trying to counter Spectre. We got Ursa, we got Shiva, we got Atom
Peacemaker.
Smasher, we got Peacemaker, we got, there's so many half-ass counters out there that just didn't go far enough. We got what's his name, Jace for Black Flash before we got Aquaman, and even then Aquaman only slightly took care of the situation. Like a large reason that Black Flash isn't used anymore isn't because of Aquaman, it's because Black Flash got power crept.
That's correct.
Like he gets wiped out by these massively powerful reds, or there's just better blues to use. That's why Black Flash is gone, not because of Aquaman. Like, we need balance. It's not about hurting your favorite character. It's not about ruining the investment you made into a character. It's about bringing the game back to a playable level.
By the way, if we at AAD, we'd be remiss if we didn't give the glass half full side. I don't see a lot of Spectre around right now.
Oh, I see him all the time.
I still see him. Yeah, it's just now he's with Cheshire, like Cyborg, Superman, and Trigon. So it's like, oh, great. Yeah, this will be fun.
He's a distraction.
I see a lot
Cyborg,
less,
Superman.
a lot less Spectre.
I do see a lot less too, but yeah.
Yeah, I've been seeing quite a few Superman lead with Spectre,
Yes, that's the
Superman,
worst.
Spectre, Cheshire, and Trigon.
So here's a dumb
Superman,
question.
Cyborg, Superman, Cheshire,
Yeah.
Trigon is a fucking bear.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just they replaced Terra with
Because then
Cyborg
just
Superman.
Superman starts stunning people, and it's like, okay, why did you just punch 6 times in a row? Like, I'm not gonna read that kit because that's just gonna give me a headache. but how the hell did Superman just punch 6 times in a row and stun 3 of my characters?
Well, I don't know.
I agree.
I guess one of the questions that I want to ask is, because there are certain people that are MIA from on high, and we are in a state of disarray. Do we think that this is maybe the beginning of the end of the game? Perhaps?
No, don't say that.
I'm not saying I would be doing my job if I didn't ask.
I don't like when people do that, because we don't really know, and I don't like to speculate because it creates fear in the community, which is unwarranted to a degree. Like, the game is making a shit ton of money right now. It's still like offering all the sales that we're asking for. Some of the new characters before Trigon and them are still super fun and enjoyable to use, and I still plan on spending my gems. Like, I'm still here for a while, and I plan on being here for a while, and I assume a lot of the community does as well. I don't think it's anywhere near ending, and I don't like to speculate about it because I don't.
Also, I know a lot of corporations will give a couple weeks off between like Christmas.
Oh, sure.
New Year's,
Sure.
So I mean, like it would be totally feasible if Reeves just had a couple days off, or
There are
Oh,
a
sure.
lot of speculation around this time. I think it's like early spring into like early summer, something around there, where we have like a dry spell on Tapjoy every year. It's like a 3-month long thing, and everyone's like, where the fuck is Tapjoy? Is this the end of the game kind of bullshit? And it's like, no, this happens every year. Calm your shit. Okay, it'll come back. Just save your gems for that 3-month period, so that way you can actually relax and still enjoy the fucking game. Like,
Right. Well, look, I'm not trying to terrify the community by any stretch. I just thought I would ask a question. But
no, I know. I'm not slamming you. I'm sorry. I didn't. A lot of people speculate that, and they throw some shit. And
It's as long as the game's still making money, they're not going to close it down. And when they only have to invest in making a couple characters a month, that's very minimal effort to keep this game going
for like
and
the
profit-wise.
600,000.
Yeah.
Sure.
Pull your head out of your
But I
ass,
think-
AB. What the hell?
Especially if the characters don't work, that's even less effort.
Yeah.
what did you say, Miss Junk?
It's just joking. I was like, yeah, come on, what's wrong with you? Pull your head out of your ass.
I know. I know. No,
He was busy finishing his red alerts for the day.
that's right. I was furiously pounding away at my keyboard here. No. It's just one of those things that I guess I'm not trying to stir shit up. I hope
I totally get that. I think it's one of those things like
yeah.
I think people have been asking so long now. I just think it's just never going to end. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
and
one
you
of
know
those
what?
things.
Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't. I just have a mindset to say that it's great to say that if people are still making money off the game, or the game still makes money, that people are still
Yeah.
going to do it. But if we have prolonged episodes like this, where the game is in disarray, people aren't going to play it.
Yeah, no, I think people are starting to like realize like maybe
Yeah.
I'll, you know, and that maybe the like Tapjoy people are playing new games, and maybe
Yeah.
they'll be like, you know what, maybe I'll stick with this one.
You know, that the whole thing about Tapjoy kind of like amazes me, because if you were a company and you want more money, but now you're saying, hey, go play these other games to get gems to purchase
Yeah.
stuff in our game, but you might actually like that game better than ours, and we might lose you. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it makes sense to me when I start playing those other games.
It's all
I'd honestly rather remove my own gallbladder with an oyster fork than keep playing State of Survival any longer than I had to get 45,000 gems. Eesh. I just went through about 6 games where I found the dollar to gem ratio to be anywhere between 3 and 4.5 to 1. So I played like 6 games. I think I spent $60 and got 225,000 gems. And every moment of that process for those 6 games had me wanting to poke my own eyes out.
Yeah, I quit. I gave up. I started one where it was like you could get up to 800,000 gems. After a day, I'm thinking I can't do this.
You got to find ones where the purchases are what drive the gems.
Yeah, well, this one had 2 purchases, but
Yeah.
you can't even make purchases until a certain point, or like you. It was just
actually in some
going
of
through
them,
the
like
tutorial,
State of
and I'm like,
Survival.
I can't.
State of Survival. Once you get through a lot of them, once you get through the tutorial, you can just make the purchases.
Right,
And then get out. The problem this time is, and Tapjoy has been really good to me as far as working. I know it hasn't for a lot of people, so I'm not trying to upset anyone. Generally, when I buy things in these games, Tapjoy rewards gems the next time I come back into the game. This time, like 4 of them, I had to put in tickets and take pictures, and it's like, oh God, stop it.
I was hoping they were going to have a gem sale. Like they talked about a big sale in the store. I was hoping they were selling gems and that, you know, that legendary essence and gems, that sale that they have.
Do we know anything about
Nothing.
that like 2 or 3 day sale that was supposed to be? Because I think the Azrael sale was a little better than the normal one, but I didn't see
saw
any
something
other
about
sale.
that. I don't know.
I think it's been bugged. I think those sales they're still probably coming, but that was also in the midst of the Reeves MIA point, so we really still don't know. We don't know.
Oh my gosh, you know what that means? Mass hysteria. Dogs and cats living together. It's the end of the world.
Good golly,
Game's
Miss
ending.
Molly.
Oh.
Mom and dad having sex on the couch, hysteria.
I know.
And then in the kitchen. Then you know.
What's
And I had
Come
to-
on my eyes.
Oh, the glaze.
Hysteria.
Bleach.
It's like Clue.
But that's
And
sometimes a good hysteria.
I'm always alone in the bedroom with a candlestick.
Oh my God. So after all that, do you guys want to talk about Dawnstar?
And the rope.
Dawnstar I think is pretty good, actually. I think because she uses her basic a lot, which is like her only damaging ability, and she uses it a lot out of turn and on call assists and shit like that. She stacks up evasions pretty easily. I'm not a big fan of the combination of evasion and awareness at the same time. Like she gains
Yeah, it seems a waste.
Well, it's not a waste. It just makes killing that character like incredibly difficult.
Boy, just like Cheshire.
Exactly. Like her sustain is so unreal. She will outlive most people. Like she's probably better at surviving than Vandal Savages, and that is saying something.
Yeah, I actually bought some shards, and I cashed in on Google Play. I had a lot of rewards, so I was able to buy a couple packs with it because that's how much money I've spent this stupid game. So I'm planning on building her up. I have her at 80 and 80-11. I just haven't spent time to use her, but I'm looking forward to using her. I think she's going to be pretty decent.
I could see people rebirthing her pretty easily.
Yeah,
she's also hot as fuck. So let's go with that.
Do you view her as a character that rebirth will make a big impact?
I do, because I mean she's already got plenty of survivability, so it's going to be all about damage. And if you re-revive her and she has the damage along with the survivability, then boom, it's over.
Right. And by the way, I would tend to agree, even as an evasion person, that evasion and awareness is a little bit too much. But I will also say the amount of can't miss characters is a little bit too much too.
But there's only a couple of those can't miss characters that are red. It's like Jay Garrick and Connor Kent, which, to be fair, Connor Kent is pretty powerful. But
You don't use Deadshot Hired Gun?
oh, that's true. I forgot about him. No, I don't really use him very often. I don't.
Guaranteed crit first turn.
You know, he might, if he got a rework, actually, he could be a
yeah.
strong counter to maybe Cheshire or Dawnstar, because he's got true damage on his basic too, which could take out a couple awarenesses.
Well, the next thing I bet they do is like crit, even if the other side has crit immunity or something stupid like that, and it's just gonna be, they keep leapfrogging there.
I only need
things.
500 more shards and have enough to RB5 him.
Ugh.
Yep.
Oh, hired
Hey,
gun.
All right,
Yep.
I'll
Yep.
go push Reeves for a rework on Deadshot Hired Gun.
There you go.
thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yep, you're welcome.
Well,
I
like,
prefer Suicide
more
Squad
can't miss.
Deadshot.
yeah, I would too. I was just saying, like, before, I pretty much RB5 the characters now that I like. I don't care if they're meta or they're crap. I'm just going to do the ones I enjoy playing.
Me too, but I also want to make sure I can shoehorn them into something so I can
Right.
use them. For example, I would probably do Bizarro, but I just can't find a spot
Mhm.
to use him, especially today. I can't even find a spot to use fucking Batgirl today.
I'm surprised they haven't made Bizarro like he gets more powerful with disease or something like that. Instead of losing health, he gains health. Something crazy like that, and then which would just
Yeah,
I'm
he should be
surprised they
the
haven't done that.
opposite, definitely.
yeah, or like
Yeah.
strength downs, give him strength up, and
Yeah.
int downs, give him int up. Bleeds, give
Doesn't
him
he
meds or
benefit
something like that.
from being
A
debuffed?
little bit, but not a lot.
Yeah, but
I
it's got to
mean,
be.
It's
And
not enough.
It's got to
Yeah.
go up to the level of the buffs,
Yeah,
like
if he
where
would
they
get
are
s-
today.
Yeah, if he would get stunned, it should be like convert the stun over to something else so he can't be stunned or something.
Right, right,
just
yeah.
like the opposite of everything. That would be fantastic. I would
I mean,
love
it
to
doesn't
see
matter
that.
because Trigon would steal it all, and then But I mean, if it stayed a buff, but he healed from so Trigon can't steal it. But if it converts, you're just gonna turn Trigon into a monster. But yeah,
I went from an RB3, or I went from an RB5 strategy to an RB3 strategy, and that is working for me. Like, I actually am enjoying RB3, but now with the current meta, I feel like my next 3 rebirths that I want are going to be RB5s, because I need one-shotters. I need people that can one-shot motherfuckers.
yeah.
And so I want a rework or stat boost for Batwoman. I want Granny RB5 because she can one-shot Cyborg Superman. And
Really, I haven't tried that.
yeah, her third ability is, as long as they're at 100% health or more, she does
Mhm.
like a shit ton of damage to them. And Cyborg
it-
Superman is like
Is
at
that
Ursa
is that
too.
on her basic or her third?
It's on her third.
Okay.
See,
See, I'm fine with that. Any character that can one shot someone, which is their basic move, I can't stand that. But if it's like a third ability or something like that, I'm okay with.
yeah, I mean, she'd be more popular if it was her basic for sure, but it's not. So, but she slaps Cyborg Superman in the face, and I love it. And then I can't think of a blue. Who was my blue? Oh wait, no, Granny is a blue. Who was my green that I wanted? It's not Cyborg. That's for damn sure. He's not really that great. I'll think about it later. But Flatline. I want Flatline as well.
Yeah, she can hit.
Flatline's cool.
She's
I
a
was
bad
hoping.
bitch.
I was actually hoping Flatline was going to be the next non-bonus rate essential, but she didn't work out.
No, I like her because she's high burst damage, but she also has a lot of damage over time and sustain. She's kind of a full package. And I was like, RB5 with her and Granny would be incredible.
Who has a full package is AB's dad.
Oh,
We're back to that now, huh?
Could barely keep it on the couch.
oh my God.
I mean, once if you can see it, when he lifts up his stomach and you see it, you're like, okay, that's
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
By the way,
Lord.
I'm still on an RB5 strategy, but I've gone 8 months without the 4 characters I'm looking for in sales.
Yeah,
I find the RB5 the characters
Just sitting here waiting.
I-
Yeah. By the way, Miss Junk, that warms my heart every time I see your logo. Like I just love people that RB5, characters they love and that aren't part of the meta. I mean, I know it makes it even harder. Like I know you certainly can't use your RB5 against Cheshire.
No. Well, I really want to see RB5 Killer Croc, but I think like the only sales they've had has been mediocre. So I was really hoping for a decent sale to do that, just because I like the character. Not even in the DC lore, just in the game for some reason. I don't know. I think
he is an interesting character in the game.
I mean, he's not good, but he has he'll do a cool thing with Superman where he'll steal his buffs and then steal his strength ups, and because Superman's taunting, he'll go back and give him debuff or buff immunity. And he does that with Trigon. You do it with it's just kind of a neat thing how some of the things, when it works, you're like, yeah, this is great. It just doesn't work most of the time.
Yeah.
Ocean Master definitely needs a rework. Like, what is it, like 10K for an RB5 for energy, for power?
He's pretty weak.
It's stupid. Yeah. And also one of his abilities is special damage. The other is regular damage, like stuff like that. It's just
gotcha.
If you bring him, you're only using his little taser move and his shield move, and that's about it.
Yeah,
in my experience.
I can promise the one thing we'll get before an Ocean Master rework is another Ocean Master ×5.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Sure. Of course.
We get one of those a quarter.
Yeah.
He is in the ×5 rotation.
I think the worst is when Barda's a ×5. You're like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Or yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even St. Walker.
If you're not a new or a rework character, the ×5s are so brutal.
I think Penguin has been a ×2 like 18 times now.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, fuck off.
I think Ocean Master has the record of most ×5 and ×3s. That would be
Constantine might be up there with him.
Oh, that's right.
Constantine, right?
Oh God, I remember the Constantine St. Walker.
No. I love raid. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it was the worst. I remember it very specifically because it was Constantine and St. Walker, and I remember it as being the last raid I ever did anything manual.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to thank them for putting both of them to show me the light and say never play manual again.
Well, it's like you put the character who does no damage on their basic and who's half of their debuffs won't even stick because they're damage over time debuffs and they don't apply to raid bosses. So it's like, why is this character and a ×5? Like it literally doesn't do anything.
Yeah, like when they do the cheetah.
Oh my God.
I think they should like at least do some damage. I mean, not just instantly pop off. Maybe not stick. Maybe they purge it, but at least it does like 1% damage or something.
Right, that'd be nice.
Is Dawnstar is a ×3? That'll probably be useless, right?
I'd assume.
Given that she only has 1 damage ability.
Yeah, I would assume. Her ability, her animations are not really that great either.
Yeah, I saw that. So. Mr. Terrific is okay, but yeah, like those things where he floats on the bombs.
Yeah.
What you're saying is Mr. Terrific isn't so terrific?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
He's got some terrific balls, but that's about it.
He's got terrific balls.
You know who else? Never mind.
I was waiting on it. I was waiting
for that domino to drop.
I think someone in our Discord server tried to type Mr. Terrific and it got auto-corrected into Mr. Terrible.
Oh,
Mr. Terrible.
We'll see. I think we've yet to see the true potential of Terrific.
No, I certainly, you guys know me. I'm not the one who rushed to
mine.
Test
like
these
it
new guys.
auto-corrected power girl to power bottom. It was really weird.
Power bottom.
She's got a nice ass.
Yeah. That's what they should make. They make if they were a power bottom instead of like the boob window, make it an ass cheek window.
That's ass cleavage.
Right, ass cleavage.
I saw that on TikTok the other day. There was a guy. It was a thirst trap, and this guy was filling up his tank at a gas station, and his pants were designed so that there was like a zipper on his ass, and he had these like beautiful ass cheeks hanging out, the quote was like, "I need my tank filled up," and I was like, "Oh, there's somewhere else you can put that gas nozzle, if you know what I mean."
It's ribbed
For his pleasure, yeah.
Oh, we're all out of control today, folks.
Man, I'm ruining it.
I love it.
Oh, listen, we need some positivity.
Right.
It's subject matter.
I would just rather sit here and listen to jokes all day than not. So we don't have much about Mr. Terrific. Nobody really has him yet. What else do we got this week? Just some quick words on some of the stat boosts. I guess they were Vixen, Sinestro, White Lantern, Ultraman, and Enchantress. Which I know Tewty wasn't even aware that Enchantress was going to be a stat boost until just about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's I mean, that is one of the counters that we're using a lot. You'd see Enchantress and Ultraman. So the fact they gave them stat boost, I guess it's good, but it also means you have to face them more often. So it's which you hate to see. But yeah, I mean, using them, it's noticeable. Vixen, I don't know.
What does anybody?
I want to use her. I really want to use Vixen. I want to enjoy Vixen, but it's just you can't. I really want. I'd love to use this Katana, but you just can't in this.
No,
I use Vixen a little bit in Siege when I can protect her. By the way, I don't know how much stat boost even helps Enchantress.
Yeah,
like, her whole value is damage immunity.
Yep. I was getting ready to. I mean,
I really love her on a heal team. Like I RB5'd her because I enjoyed putting her with like Black Lightning, and Starfire and some other like heal based characters. Because her AoE, if you could get it to proc, puts so many debuffs on the enemy team, and it basically neuters their damage. So even if you don't get the damage immunity, they still don't deal very much damage, and that's pretty viable in my opinion. But also the damage it does is just escalated so much more now that she's RB5 on my list. But I like I'm glad that Sinestro White Lantern got one. He has been in a bad place for a while because, Spectre's AoE would just one-shot a lot of people with the heal immunity, and then his leadership would be, null and void. But now that he's got the stat boost, he survives a little bit better. He can actually get his first turn and, take those heal immunities off his team, and actually be able to revive people, which is nice. So I'm hoping that if the star system ever gets fixed, which I have talked to Reeves about trying to get it fixed. And she said, okay, I'll talk to the team, which, is, whatever. But if it ever does happen, he'll be in a good place to, come back.
I do like, I mean, I think it's when I think the perfect spot for the stat boost is B tier or A tier. I think C and T, it's useless. Like if you have someone who's a C tier character, a stat boost probably isn't going to make them useful, But
unless it comes with like a speed boost as well.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be like you would have to double Killer Croc stats to make him useful,
Yeah. If like Yellow Lantern Sinestro got us like a speed boost if he got a stat boost with speed, he would actually be useful.
He's a tank.
Yeah, I thought he was B.
Is
he C tier?
He's at least he's probably C tier with WROL. Yeah. But his kid is decent. He just sucks because he's so slow.
Right. By the way, can any of the lore nerds out there tell me why did Sinestro have a blue costume in Challenge of the Super Friends? Hit me up on that one.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Maybe he was in disguise. I don't know.
And why isn't Toymaker in the game?
Right, Toyman.
That's what they should. Oh, right. Sorry,
Toyman. Yeah,
that's what they should do with the this new skins. They should give the challenge of the Super Friends skins.
It's Toyman, and then there's a few on the Super Friends side that we will never see in game for
Apache Chief.
Yeah.
for obvious reasons we will not see.
Still waiting on Static Shock.
Static Shock.
That one's so bad.
I found your answer, Biff, if you want to know.
Okay. Go ahead.
His first appearance was in Green Lantern #7, and that's the costume that he wore. He didn't actually wear the yellow until the Sinestro Corps Wars. Is when he started wearing the yellow design.
Okay, but he definitely had green at one point, correct? Before he was yellow.
Yes.
But I've never seen anything other than Challenge of the Super Friends, which is the greatest cartoon of all time. That he wore that blue. I haven't found it anywhere other than My Figure Toys Company.
Maybe they just ran out of yellow ink on the first few episodes. They're like, well, we already did it. We screwed it up. Let's just continue making them blue.
It's as plausible as anything else, I suppose.
I'm still laughing about Apache Chief. All I think was like, all right, when you do the dialogue for what does he speaks like? Well, better than, not as good as the ape, but slightly better than the dead zombie with the broken English. It's so funny to me now looking at how like the way Hollywood wants back, Hollywood, whatever it is. And back to the Batman we were talking about before, the Batman 66, King Tut. A 19-year-old Egyptian boy is played by a white guy in his 60s. I was like, well, it's Hollywood.
Well, they got away with things different back then. It's like we talked about last week. You couldn't get away with All in the Family these days, and you can't get away with Apache Chief either.
Right.
Apache Chief and All in the Family.
You know what else you can't get away with? Catching your mom and dad having sex on the living room on the sofa, and then having a podcast, and then people.
Yeah, you can't get away with.
You can't get away with
emotions over your trauma. That's you can't get away with.
Hey, Tewty, did you hear about the rework they're doing for White Lantern Sinestro? He's going to have ignore hill immunity.
Oh, good. Love that. I thought you were going to make a cum joke.
No, they're just ignoring every type of immunity out there, so that way he can always revive.
That'd be great. I would love that. That would be perfect for him, actually.
My God.
One day.
Well,
okay.
If you guys could see one rework, one tune become a great rework, who would it be?
Dr. Fate.
Of course.
He just had one.
Ra's al Ghul for me.
Yeah.
I'll take Black Manta.
Oh, that would be great. I'd love to see a Black Manta. I love Black Manta, but well, not anymore.
Or Grodd. I'll take Black Manta or Grodd, making him. I need Grodd viable for anything other than Nightmare Challenge.
Yeah,
I'd let Manta swim into my cave.
Is it too late for me to interject Solomon Grundy?
Manta is such a good character.
He is.
I don't even want his kit reworked as much as I just want as a stat boost, because he's one of those guys that he is absolutely awesome at RB5.
Wait, did he get a stat boost? He didn't get one?
No,
not yet.
By the way, I want him to get a stat boost just because he'll probably shoot up, and an M4 can't make fun of me about my power score on my RB5 Manta.
Yeah, he needs one. A stat boost.
He's like your Ocean Master. I guess these people underwater, they need a boost.
I mean, there's another character I would like. None of you guys would probably agree with me, but of course, Dr. Fate's my choice. But like, if I were to pick a normal character out of them that I would like to see reworked to be really good, is Bane. I always liked the character Bane, and I thought when he first came out and he had that, I think he was like one of the first characters to have that out of turn attack.
Mm-hmm.
And it made him so cool to use back then. And I really enjoyed that. And then like now he just gets slaughtered because he's so power crept. But I would like to see him come back as like a really cool rework. I just love the character and the design.
I remember us having conversations like, oh, you got to get to Bane fast before he starts mending.
Yep.
He starts mending, he'll go off.
And that's another one that Black Manta would just destroy.
Oh, God, yeah. It's so much fun. Oh, God. Aquaman and Barda teams. that might be the only thing left that gives me enjoyment in this game is when I find an Aquaman Barda combo and just slot RB5
Nice.
Manta in there and just watch them. You think people melt with Trigon and Cheshire. You should see what happens with Aquaman and Barda, like completely overhealed, and all of a sudden they just go poof.
I was thinking I'd like to see a Parasite rework, but now seeing what Trigon does, it's like I don't think so.
Yeah, that's dangerous for sure.
See, Parasite should have something like whenever Parasite is 20% or below health, swap with the opposing opponent's health meter. Swap them out. Like that could be like one
That'd
of
be
his
cool.
abilities.
I love that.
His thing is like if you look at what Trigon does now, half of the time on every single person's turn, he'll like take all their buff. Like that's the sort of thing that, and I think Parasite has like 75% chance on his best turn to steal up to 6 or to steal 3 or something like that. It's something ridiculously low.
Well,
Yeah. Well,
well,
I think it's interesting.
well. I was looking at Retpmus. Were you going to say something? Your hole was all lit up. Are you okay over there?
Yeah.
You're what?
I was coughing.
Oh,
and I
okay.
covered it up real quick.
Okay.
You know whose hole was lit up?
Whose?
Why can't it ever be mine?
I know. I'm kind of feeling sad for you, Tewty.
No, it's
You know-
okay.
Oh.
One day. It's all right. I always make the joke, like I think someone said earlier, like something about being a slut. And I was like, that would be the greatest compliment for me. I would love to be a slut.
Sluttony.
Sluttony.
Somebody make me a slut, please.
Poof, you're a
right.
slut.
All right.
Someone turn him
Twist
out.
my arm.
All right. Well, thank you guys. You've been very entertaining today, but let's take it around and get the last word. And we'll start this with Retpmus. Like always, buddy, take us to church.
As usual, I just want to thank everybody for being here. I know we're a little bit perturbed. I'm trying to think of like a nice word to say at the state of the game. But how many times have we had these ups and downs in the game? It happens all the time. So, I mean, it's just right now, it's really, really annoying and it's getting on our nerves. Try not to let it bother you as much, even though I know it's super, super hard not to, because I get aggravated myself quite a bit playing this. But it's just like, I feel like anything in life, I think a lot of this stuff we kind of do to ourselves in a way. Like we put unneeded pressures or wants, desires, fears, and we compound them in our own reality. We make them worse than it really is. So if you can sit down and just take a minute and be like, okay, how bad really is it? I mean, that's like Biff. He talked to me one time and he was just telling me, he was just like, just sit back and think like, what's the worst thing? And I remember that, because I mean, he took time out, when I was going through some stressful situations, and, he talked to me. He's a good friend and I appreciate you, Beth. And that's just what we got to do, because we live in a world, that's surrounded by all social media outlets and stuff. And everybody gets influenced so much by what other people say and what other people do. And they don't really take the time out to think if it is the best, way of doing things. Should I take that path? Should I take my own path? And most of the time, everybody is followers, not leaders. They say there's 2 types of people, followers or leaders. But I believe you have another choice. You can be both. You can choose when to follow, when to lead. So be your own person is really what I'm trying to say. And don't let things get you down so much, because I'm telling you, it can be rough. I'm going through rough things myself, and boy, it really can take a toll on you. And I just wish the best for everybody out there, and always sending positive vibes to everybody.
Thank you, Retpmus. Well said, buddy. All right, Biff, tell it like it is. You got to follow that, man.
Yeah, well, I'll piggyback on what Retpmus said, because we did have that conversation a long time ago, and I could tell him when you are going through rough things. My therapist once told me, like, just think about what's the worst case scenario. Like, I was going through job troubles years ago, and she said, "Well, what's the worst case scenario?" I said, "Well, I guess I lose my job." She goes, "Okay." She goes, "Then what?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And she goes, well, what's the worst case scenario? Losing your job? I said, "I don't know. Maybe we'll move back to my wife's home country in Honduras, and I'll buy an ice cream truck and sit in the beach, because the cost of living there was so, whatever." And she goes, that doesn't sound so bad, does it? I'm like, "No, it doesn't. I can run an ice cream truck in Honduras. That'd be awesome." So yeah, as Retpmus said, sometimes take some perspective and just think, like, little things, especially games and stuff like this, not that big a deal. But anyway, we got some fun stuff coming up for the community. We talked about pre-show today, so keep an ear out for that. It'll be a lot of fun and very interactive with everyone. And thanks for listening to us bitch today.
Well said. Well said. Thank you, buddy. All right. Tewty, give us your last word, pal.
Yeah, so kind of in a similar mind as these other two. Update on some goals. I told you my New Year's goals, not resolutions, they're goals. Short term, I had an interview for a new job, and I think it went well. I'll hopefully find out this week. So,
Nice.
Progress is being made on that front.
Very good.
Nice.
Yeah, thank you. So it's your goals, they need to be, short term, long term, mid-term, and attainable, so just make them attainable. And what is it today, the 8th of January, and I'm already like hopefully 75% of the way through one of my goals. So
Good job, man.
I hope
Is that the slut goal or the other one?
oh, the slut goal is a life goal. That is not a New Year's goal. That's a life goal. Hopefully one day, maybe even when I'm 70, I'll be a slut finally. But I don't know. If I get this job, it might be easier to be a slut. Who knows? I'll be a bartender again full time, so that'd be nice. People think bartenders are pretty sexy, in my experience.
Why wouldn't they think you're a slut if you're a bartender?
I'm okay with that.
Okay,
I want people
okay.
to think I'm a slut. Like, that would be great.
Yeah, I don't know of any
Sluttony.
bartenders that aren't considered sluts in a lot of bars. So.
Well, I'm rooting for you, Tewty. I hope
Absolutely.
you fulfill your goals,
I know.
buddy.
Thank you.
May all your dreams come true.
And as he said,
It's not a yes yet.
It'll be like, where's the bartender? Oh, he's under the counter right now. He'll be back in 5.
He's being a slut right now.
Where's that slutty bartender? We need him stat.
There are plenty
He's
of
the
bars
only man.
out there where, like, I don't have the capability of doing this, like, where they work like shirtless and in like Speedos and shit.
Oh yeah.
And I could never do that. I don't have the body for it. But that would be I'd find it fun. That'd be enjoyable.
Well, make that one of your goals, man.
There you go.
He's actually shirtless in a Speedo now, and for those of you listening, you just can't see it. But
Yes. Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, so I would have to disagree, Tewty. I think you would do fine in that area.
Oh, okay. Very well. Very well. I did do a Tootie Tune once without a shirt on, because it was like 90 degrees in my room and like 112 outside. It was in the middle of the summertime. And I was like, I need to get this recorded, but it's so fucking hot. And I did one shirtless, and all you could see was my shoulders, but fucking everybody lit my ass up. They're like, dude, you're so fucking nasty. Your shoulders are gross. Put your shirt on.
Oh,
Oh my God.
that's bull crap.
I know. I was like, you didn't want like a little Tootie thirst trap? Like, shoulders are sexy.
I don't know why people have to be that way. Nobody is perfect.
I know, but it's fine. I thought that was funny. I'm not even offended by it because it's the internet, and I'll never take that seriously. But
Right.
Yeah.
it was fun.
But usually people that do that, they have problems with themselves.
Right? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like since then, my fan base has changed. Like, maybe those people unsubscribed, and now all the people that are subscribed are the ones that are like, yeah, I love my bisexual king.
That's right.
I think if I did a shirtless live stream, I'd probably lose some followers as well.
I would
Yeah.
just tell you to shave your nipples, and everything else would be fine.
Just the nipples, just like a circle right in
Just
the middle.
right.
Yeah.
Circles.
Mhm. Nipples being hairy are the nastiest thing ever. I'm sorry to anyone in this chat that has hairy nipples.
Oh.
I don't suck on hairy nipples. I'm sorry, I just don't.
Yeah, my I know, like hairy nipples. It's like right now my boobs. It looks like Miss Pac-Man's eyes. You know. So it's tough. I'll get to it. I'll get to it.
Oh my God. All right, Tewty, is that it, or you have?
Yes, I'm done. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Tewty. We appreciate it. Miss Junk, you get the very bottom line today.
Well, thank you so much. And hey, if you haven't done your New Year's goals, don't let it turn into a habit. Like, I didn't do it this year. Maybe next year. You should be like, hey, but just start it. Say, hey, I'll start it next week. That'll be my new year. And it's just an arbitrary number. So you start your goal next week. And also, like, sometimes you get really mad at this game, and then you think like, this isn't your life. This is just a game that you play, and it gets annoying at times. Maybe it'll fix itself. Maybe it's still like your life is far more than just this game, even though it doesn't feel like it sometimes for a lot of us. So just take an hour and maybe don't play the game. Maybe don't go to Reddit. Don't go on Discord. Just be like, hey, how about some positivity, and go from there.
I think don't go to Reddit is words to live by.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's
it's terrible.
I made the mistake of responding to something the other day.
Well, I was like that with YouTube comments. Every once in a while, I would see a YouTube comment that like it was just like some of these nonstop things. Not on my channel necessarily now, but like there are other things that I had out there, and I would just see all these nasty comments, and I just thought like, I don't have to read those. Yeah, right. You could just let it be just some asshole yelling into cyberspace, and just like let them yell. Like, who cares? My life should not be affected by how other people think of me.
Yeah, it's their energy.
Agreed.
Or my nipples.
There's
or my giant hairy nipples. My
Hey, some people like that. You got to remember,
Yeah,
for
it's
every
like a-
person out there that doesn't like it, there was one that does.
It's like a slice of salami that I got dropped in a barber shop after a haircut. That's what it looks like. It's
You
That
just
sounds-
gave me a terrible picture, but you know what? Beauty is subjective.
By the way,
Exactly.
we've given the group plenty of terrible pictures
Right.
tonight.
Oh yeah, that is the theme of this episode, isn't it? Terrible pictures.
The only
yeah, get yourself a community like our alliance. This place love these podcasts.
the only thing worse than Atro, Cheshire, and Trigon is thinking about your parents having sex on your living room couch.
Yep. Especially if you
And-
sleep on the couch.
Was it like a spooning event, AB, or was it like a?
Do you want me to describe it?
each other?
Okay, here it is.
Yeah, was it like loving?
No,
Was it loving?
Here
or
it
was
is.
That's a
angry-
picture I
angry?
want to see in my head.
I'll describe it exactly everything as it went down, right? So here I am. I'm 4 or 5 years old.
Oh, that's early.
Yeah, well, it is
This is
early.
hot. This is already hot.
It's already hot, right? I'm 4 or 5 years old, and I'm laying in bed at night, and I don't know what time it is. All I know is, boy, I sure could use something to eat. I'm hungry. So I figure there's leftovers I think there's leftovers chicken or something in the fridge. I'm just going to go get some leftover chicken. And so I'm making the way down the stairs. It's a two levels house. I'm making my way down the stairs, and I have to be careful because there's no carpeting on the stairs, and it's, very slippy. It's wooden stairs, and
you're in footy pajamas.
I mean, right? No, I'm wearing my socks, man. I'm wearing my socks, and I come around the corner. I'm being very quiet. I'm trying not to creak the boards or make a sound on the board. There's a door that I have to open to get into the living room from the hallway, and I'm cracking it just ever so slightly. And I realize the light is on. I'm like, are they still up? So I poke my head, my little eye around the corner, and my mom is straddling my dad over top of the frickin' love seat that
Mom's
is
got moves.
yeah, oh, let me tell you. And that was about as much as I needed to see.
Did you know what was going on though? I mean, you must.
I had no idea really
Right,
what was
you
going
must
on,
be like,
but I
oh,
was
that's-
like, whatever is going on, I don't want to know.
Yeah, he was
Why are
9.
they stuck together?
Well,
He
no,
was
it was
9 one time and just had an aha moment all of a sudden.
No.
Just sitting there one day watching cartoons and like, oh, fuck, I know what they were doing now.
no, there was no aha moment. It was like, I don't know if I should be around for this.
I don't know what 4-year-old goes down to the fridge for chicken in the middle.
Dude,
of the
I was
night,
hungry.
but-
I was hungry. It was not the first time I'd executed that trick, by the way. I'd go down there for snacks of, meat snacks all the time.
Oh, so you wanted to get an eyeful every night?
No, that is not the plan.
Hey, so you and your mom were both going for meat snacks?
Oh my God! You know what? That's a wrap. That's been a great show, everybody. No, I'm kidding. I'm
Meat
kidding.
snacks with Atlantis After Dark.
Pepperoni sticks.
Yeah.
All right.
Just don't get any of the cheese on it. No truffle butter.
All right. Yeah. That's the story of how I saw my folks having sex. That's great. And now that therapy piece is out of there, is anybody else have anything else they want to add, subtract? Maybe, no? Anybody? No? Okay.
No. Hey,
once.
you won't, whatever they call it now, WROL, WWOL, you won't
Right.
get,
Yeah, that's right.
you won't get Killer, Croc, Parasite, and Bane talk on that show. So.
No. You also won't get talk about people catching their parents having sex, but I digress. That's a cross we're here to bear, I guess.
Maybe that's why they're monetized and we're not.
It's our cross to bear, I guess. Man, I don't know. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. You've been highly entertaining today. So fucking awesome. We want to thank all of you for taking the time to be with us today. Get on our website, AtlantisAfterDark.com. Grab some cool swag from the merch store, get on Discord, and talk directly with us, and then hit that subscribe button because you know you want to. For Biff, for Retpmus, for Tewty, and Miss Junk, we'll see you all right here next time for another fantabulous episode of Double AD. So long, everybody.